highly educative, very inspiring, and motivational. Thank you very much, sir. With another round of applause, please, may we give him. You see, one of the key things to take away from here is the key. So if you take away the key to this place, there's no one that will live again. We would have locked all of us in here. Take the key, keep educating yourself. Please do it and do it continually. I want to believe that even people had that he said, even at this level, keep educating yourself. Look, am I correct? Keep educating yourself. Thank you very much. Yeah. It is my pleasure while he was talking, another industry giant walked in here. Interestingly, I want to announce to you that this very individual left the diaspora to come and join us here today. And sincerely he did. I'm not exaggerating it. For this program, he flew in from the United States of America this morning. He just landed there and he's here. But welcome to our midst, Mr. Kingsley Mokoma. He is the president of Association of all the foreign airlines in Nigeria. And he's here and he's enjoying what we are doing. I wish you came when the DJ was still here. Yes, exactly. Kingsley, Maga was always expressing a concern. He said that I should announce you flew Delta. Okay, not Benin. You know, Delta is very close to Benin. Delta is close to Benin. So he came in on Delta, please, not Benin Airline. So he came in on Delta. You're welcome. Any MOU? There should be an MOU. Yes. Any MOU. Thank you for coming to join us. You have enriched our guests. 10:55, and we need to talk to us for 15 minutes maximum. If you do 10 minutes, we appreciate it more. Please, thank you very much. You're welcome to the microphone. From Danaba? No. From which one?
Good morning, distinguished guest speakers. I'm honored and humbled to stand before very senior colleagues. Captain Jaja, in my almost 25 years of flying, I have only heard your name. I am seeing you for the first time. His name resounds. You can hardly hear of any historic story without hearing his name. And I've always wondered, who on earth is this person? I am delighted to meet you this morning. So, I also welcome all of you, our distinguished guests, to this day's Aviation Career Conference. It's an honor to speak with the next generation and inspire you in whatever little way. Alongside my colleague, Mrs. Pepple, as I like to call her, Mrs. Pepple's father, Captain Daudu, was my trainer, my instructor on the Dash 8 de Havilland aircraft. So she's a second generation pilot in her family. Aviation career, the pilot's life. The aviation industry is a safety critical industry. And so the pilot's training, the core of a pilot's training is crisis management. You are trained to handle whatever crisis can possibly happen in your career path and your career life. The key requirements to become a pilot is first and foremost physical fitness, your health. Physical fitness, mental fitness, those two things. Of course, with expatiate, that could be expatiated into other areas, but that's the key thing. If you are not medically fit, you wouldn't even be accepted into a flying school, no matter how brilliant you are. And so it goes to say that there are certain medical conditions that automatically disqualify us from becoming pilots. Diabetes, asthma, sickle cell anemia, medical conditions that are capable of incapacitating you without notice or at very short notice, most likely automatically disqualifies you from becoming a pilot. But a lot of people can scale through that, and once you scale through that, you will be on your way. Age-wise, minimum requirement is 18 years of age. Being a pilot is a skill. There is no sitting on the fence. You're either a pilot or you are not. You can either fly or you cannot fly. There is no, he's a fairly good pilot. She's not bad. No. You're either a pilot or you are not. There is no sitting on the fence. And I've been told that once you're in this uniform, you're a he. Because various times when the controller says to me, proceed to the holding point, sir, I say it's she. And they tell me once you're in that cockpit, in that uniform, you're a he. I say, okay, sir. Indeed, when I started flying, the word he, the word she did not exist in the NCARs, the NCA regulations. She was not there except perhaps in the section of the cabin crew. But where pilots were concerned, it was all he. And I always felt marginalized. For a couple of months, several months, I was the only female voice in the Nigerian airspace. And then others started coming. Not that I'm the first female pilot, but the others ahead of me had left the profession before I came in. I didn't have the opportunity to be mentored by them. So I was mentored by my male colleagues in Aero Contractors of Nigeria, and they were wonderful. I give it to the men, okay? They supported me. I stand tall on their shoulders today, and I can mention several names, some of whom have passed away. So don't think that as a female pilot it would be a world of abuse and marginalization, no. Where there may be a few instances, it's not the norm. Pilots are very professional. Pilots are very professional people, and we uphold global standards and best practices. So you must be a minimum of 18 years old, and you must be a high school graduate. Did you hear me say 5 credits? No. High school graduate, proficiency in English. You don't have to have sciences. That's the truth. So I have colleagues who have Bachelor of Arts in Yoruba language, and they're pilots. Why? It is a skill, and you will be taught. And you either know it or you don't know it. You either pass or you don't pass. When we talk about crisis management, every training at every level that you will go through will include emergencies or be filled with emergencies, and you can be sure that that would include your engines being cut off, shut down in mid-air, deliberately by your instructors and your examiners. So for you to transit from being a student pilot to a private pilot in the first instance, you would have to be taken up there after hours of training, and your engines will be shut down, and the instructor will sit like this, probably with a cup of coffee, and watch what you will do. You want to see if you will go, the blood of, you know how to say it. It's not allowed. Okay? In the cockpit, you have no time to be afraid. So you will be trained to overcome all fears. And if at the end of your training you are still afraid, we'll advise you to take a passenger seat. Okay, in flying school, you would go through courses like air law. You know, like when you're driving on the road and you hear traffic on the left has the right of way, who has the right of way? We have those kind of laws up there as well. You would go through aerodynamics, and that's the science part, the physics of flying. How an airplane gets in the air, how a helicopter lifts up in the air. But it's not abstract science, it's applied science. You will see what we're talking about, and you will be able to apply it. It's not abstract. That's why you don't need to be a science major to come into aviation, okay? Now, the fact that all you need is a high school certificate, a good result, good testimonial. Your character must attest that you are a candidate for aviation. Aviation professionals are people of high standards and of good character. That does not then mean that you shouldn't go for further studies and have a degree in many other things. In today's world, these other qualifications add value to the career of a pilot. I am on a group, on a platform in a group of female pilots of Nigeria called the Niger Aviatrix. And in that group, we have medical doctors, we have computer scientists, we have veterinary doctors, we have accountants. Mrs. Pepple is a lawyer. She's a lawyer. She came to fly after her law degree. I didn't have a degree when I started flying, but in there somewhere, I got my degree. I don't use it in the cockpit, but when you work in a company, you will always have extra responsibilities, management responsibilities, or the opportunity to rise up the management ladder, and that's where your added value comes in. Being a pilot does not mean you will sleep and wake up in the cockpit all your career life. You will have work to do, interfacing with people, contributing to the industry, like you have the esteemed ladies and gentlemen at the table. You saw the NCA Director General. He was my colleague. We flew together when he was in Aero Contractors. And suddenly, one day he says, I'm leaving. Leaving? Captain Nuhu, why would you leave? I'm going back to school. I'm going to study, to secure a master's in an aviation field. That sounded very interesting. Because I knew I was pursuing my degree as well. I mean, I told him, I said it's a good idea. It may look like you'd be losing money in the interim, but on the long run, you would be better off for it. And he left us then. And for many years, he was away. The next time we heard of Captain Nuhu, he was with ICAO. A couple of years after, the DG NCAA. If he didn't have that qualification and that experience, he wouldn't be where he is today. He started as a pilot. So being a pilot is just the starting point for many things that you can become. And you can decide that being a pilot is all you want to do the rest of your life. That's also fine. But always improve yourself. We just heard, keep learning. Keep learning. The fact that you become a pilot and you build your experience, you become a captain, so what? After that, what happens next? What else? You need to have something else. You need to add something to it. Okay, so in school, human capacity, human behavior, meteorology, the physics of flight, are some of the many courses that you will come across. They are designed to help you understand. They are not designed to make you fail or rubbish you, like we perceive some of the education systems that we go through. No. They're designed to equip you for the vocation in front of you. And all you have to do is focus, grab that understanding, and come out on the top, or at the top. There will always be pilots. There will always be opportunities for pilots in the world. Population keeps increasing. You heard how many people are in the air at any given point in time. We will always need pilots. Whether there's another pandemic or not, it will roll away and we'll go back into the air. We will always need pilots. By 2025, the world will need 500,000 pilots, the world. And because being a pilot is a global vocation, governed by ICAO, the pilot is a universal person. If you're a pilot, if you're a Nigerian pilot, you're also a pilot anywhere else. You only need their license. You only need to convert. But the knowledge, the skill is all the same. And because I am a Nigerian pilot today, does not mean I can't head anywhere. If you tell me now to head to Singapore, I'm ready to go. Just give me the machine. I know how to plan my way there. Because it's the same training globally, worldwide. It is governed by ICAO, which is the Charter of the United Nations. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, pilots are well paid. It is a function of the risk that they carry. It is a function of the risk that we bear. One day, I was on a flight schedule and we were to do 10 landings that day. And while boarding the passengers for, I think, the 5th flight, a particular passenger who boarded first sat down and he went into a self-prayer meeting. And you could see him doing this and doing this and all of that. And I looked back and I saw him. And then he opened his eyes and saw me staring at him from the cockpit. And I told him, "You're only going from here to there, and you're saying this much prayers. How many prayers am I expected to say today? Because I'm going to go 10 times, you know?" And then he busted into laughter. It's nothing to be afraid of. Aviation is safety critical, but you are trained to become a safe pilot. A well-trained pilot is the greatest safety device on board an aircraft. And that's what pilot training is all about. The lifestyle of a pilot is very much like that of a doctor or a nurse. We do not have weekends and public holidays. You could be on duty at any time. Can a lady become a pilot? Well, you're looking at us. Do we have families? I have 3 children. I had them, oh well, I did. I think they got 1 or 2 opportunities. And I had them all. I raised my family as an actively flying pilot. I wasn't married when I started flying. So I got married and raised my family. So I'm the first Nigerian female pilot to raise a family while actively flying. Before me, everybody thought it was a myth and couldn't happen. But it is possible. Many of us have 3 children as well. And my children are in the university now, they're in their 20s, so hey, you can do it, because I have done it. Okay?
Well, if you don't think she deserves another round of applause, you're not doing it. She spoke for exactly 15 minutes. Even after the 1 hour she spoke. Exactly 15 minutes. Thank you very much, because pilots know this thing right on time. And he did exactly that. The interesting thing about her delivery is that she speaks impeccably. Do you lecture the aircraft while you are flying? Because you're speaking like someone who is just a classroom lecturer. Effortlessly, she was impacted. Am I correct?
Yes.
Effortlessly. And she was navigating as if she had a lecture note in her hand. She knew her areas to touch. If you have been a pilot, you know you don't miss any sequence. Am I correct? Because you were flying accurately. This flight was too smooth. And we enjoyed it. Thank you. Well, this is about career choice and about career talk. We are not talking to you so that you just drop it somewhere. We're talking to you to make you understand that if people can do it. There is somebody from one man who is from, we say, in Imo State. And the man is one man who has charisma and presence and personality. So there was a time he was put through this kind of class and he was motivated. And all he said is, if Oshneye can did it, and Engineer Derek can did it, I can also did it. Permit me to invite to the high table to come and join us here, Dr. Young Daniel. Dr. Daniel Young is here with us, and he is a key speaker and aviation enthusiast. Dr. Young, please come and just join us here. Dr. Young is Dr. Young, and there's no two Dr. Young in this industry. Doctor, you're welcome. You just join us here, and we'll receive some comment from you. Dr. Young, he is an industry enthusiast. If I give him the microphone, the shortest time he will speak multiple. Well, there are some very clear. No, you are not taking your questions. Okay, you're giving me the answers in case they are. You can ask later. Okay. So, yeah, thank you very much. Like I was saying, Bolaji,
Yes, sir.
you said in your 25 years of flying, you only hear of Miller Georgia,
Honestly.
and you've never met him. This is special. People, do you believe that? Never met you, but she hears about him. What were you doing that people were hearing about? There must be something that he was doing that people were hearing about. Because I've been flying for so long, and I don't think you have heard about me. Bolaji, am I correct? I've been flying too. And I fly to everywhere. You know, you said if you're to go to Singapore, I go to those places. But most of the time in the midnight. Only in my dreams I know I fly to those places. I fly to Mexico, I fly to Mexico, I fly to anywhere I want to fly. It's my choice. Thank you very much, Bolaji, for a well-articulated presentation. That is my president. And I recommend you for the classroom. You know, Aero has a classroom at KJJ. Go and man that class. You will do well.
Okay.
I think you will do well. Thank you, and thank you very much. As I invite another key personality here who is with us here, and has been here and has supported this program to come and talk to us. Please, I want to beg, sincerely, okay? I want to beg you, in the name of whatever you believe. This is a 10 minutes presentation, 10 minutes. Please, if you believe me, do it. 10 minutes, as I invite Mr. Oludayo Taiwo to come and talk to you. You know why I'm careful is these people that are coming from classroom and academic and all of that. Their 10 minutes is like, but we are begging, please. We want to live here. In fact, let's say we clock this place at 3 o'clock. And that's the time they gave us that. Before 2, if we don't leave, they will close the door. So we want to rush. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols duly observed. I want to first of all say a very big thank you to Mama J for making this vision come to life. I'm also very privileged to be speaking as a very young man before daddies and mommies in the industry. And it's a huge privilege which I never saw coming, but I'm so glad and I'm grateful to God as well for making this happen. If you're happy with me, please give God a round of applause. All right, my pleasure has always been to speak with the youths, and I have another level of fulfillment right inside of me right now. And I wouldn't want to speak so much, but I'll be very practical with us, and I will tell you a bit of my life experience, and I want you to hold something very important while you're living here and as I drop the microphone. My name is Taiwo Gideon Oludayo. I am the Director of Studies of Airport College of Aviation and Travel Management and CEO of Airport Travels. A very young chap right before you, so we understand each other's language. Somebody made a quote I read in a book years back, and he gave the example of having ants walk through the wall. That if we as humans tell the ants that way you are going, somebody will kill you on that path. Apparently, the hands will not hear what you're saying. And the best way to communicate with an hand is to be an hand. So you see ants, whenever they are going either ways, they have to tell each other something before they forge ahead. And that is what I'm practically going to do with you all today, especially to those of us who are aspiring to become aviation professionals. All right. A whole lot has been said from very much senior colleagues, and I would not want to do a whole lot of repetition. I only want to emphasize on two particular things when it comes to education, or let me rather say training, as it affects being a travel professional or an aviation professional. She rightly said when she was speaking that all that is required of you is just the basic education, which I would also want to use myself as a case study here. I joined the industry about 13 years ago. Not about, 13 years plus now. And I joined not because I'm willing to join, but because that's the opportunity I had then. And I want to congratulate all of you because you are getting an opportunity that I wish I had way back then in 2008. I think I would have been a more better person than what I am currently. But it's not so bad at all because God has helped us thus far. How did it all happen? I had just an SSC, just a SSC rather. I'm not from a financially buoyant family, not average, very below average. And I saw the opportunity of an advert of an aviation school. And I said, oh. And guess what I was doing then? I was just a cleaner in a travel agency. I sweep, I dust, I wash their toilets, and all of that. And that is what I do in that travel company. And after I do my daily runnings, I will look at what these people are doing. The press what we call the GDS then. I don't know what it is called. But I say, I like this green screen that you have here. And the man that was brought from Bangladesh to manage that travel company then said, I cannot teach you except you go for training. I said, oh. So when I saw the poster, I took the opportunity and I went for the training. Lo and behold, I went for the training and I started working with people, and after working with them for about 6 years plus, about 7 years, I told myself there's a need for me to do something for myself. And I was what betted Airport Travels and Tours Limited. To the glory of God today, the person who was once a cleaner in a travel agency is now a CEO of a travel agency. And because of the enthusiasm inside of me, I felt my generation needs more. Many of us are not privileged to be the BSc holders, HND holders, master holders, and the likes. And we want to be a part of this profession. We love it, we are passionate about it. Because passion is one of the key things that will drive you to become whatsoever you determine to be. She has spoken to us about what it takes to become a pilot, but trust me, it is not a child's play. You need a whole lot of dollars to make that happen. It sounds so interesting when she was speaking about it. But it's not meant for everybody. Albeit, there's a need for us to understand, first of all, who you are, because it is your personality that will determine how far you will go in life. There's a common saying that your attitude will determine the altitude. So how far you want to go in life is dependent on who you really are. And it's unfortunate that many of us as youths today, we have abused our childhood. And we have found ourselves in a situation whereby our next generation and forthcoming ones will have to suffer it, either right it or not, because we have not laid a good foundation for the coming ones. Sorry, I quote, the Bible says, if the foundation is destroyed, what will the righteous do? As a director of studies, I've met series of youths who want to come into the industry, but unfortunately, their lifestyle is already damaged, no cause. Because they are not fitting. She said something categorically which I held on to, and I always remind people that I'm privileged to speak with, that you don't use your youthful age abusively. Let me give a very good example. A lady come and study cabin crew with us, and she said, She has paid, she has the cash to pay. She's from a wealthy background. But unfortunately, she has tattoo on her. You're not fit, especially visible ones. You're not fit. You've pierced your nose, you've pierced the whole of your body. Excuse me, you are not meant for this industry.